An introduction to who you are, what you are, your family, and what Greeley means to you and stuff like that.
I think it's honesty. Being able to call it when you see it. It's not going to be comfortable, but it's also how you do it.
If any of you know the government in South Africa, it's those of you who work for a company, when all the risk is falling on your back, and you have to show up to provide for the family and provide, and like you said earlier, I think we beat ourselves up way more. We're good, I think. This is not gonna kill you. It's
all right, you promise.
Yeah, I have a joke behind it too.
It's kind of been tabbed as the $1.1 billion project.
Yeah.
It's really about 850 million between the three Greeley created mechanisms that would fund that, but not raise taxes, contrary to what some folks have said about it.
That's maybe 10-minute gap from, like, let's say.
So it's actually far less than that. I just did a little experiment. So I did a little experiment here a couple of weeks ago, which I think the biggest thing that we're seeing right now is if it doesn't go one person's way or the other way, let's burn this thing down. But it's a give and take. We've all got to work together. Yeah. We all love our community. We just have different visions and ways we think we can grow and change this city. I had a little saying, if you hate me, you don't know me. You probably can't tell. I'm 6'5", 250, so I can be a very intimidating person. But I'm the first one that's cries at a movie.
Yeah.
Or I even cry at commercials.
Let's go worst case scenarios, and then medium case, and then best case. Give me that.
So worst case scenario is what could happen this afternoon, which is another referendum petition to kill the project.
Yo, I ain't here for the money, I ain't here for the fame. Though it might be nice to own a jet plane, I'ma do it all for you. Come along and see it's true, but the world is pretty cold. You might need a sweater too. I'ma put a ride on ya. Kid from California, trying to make it in life. In school they never.
Hey everyone, welcome to the MoneyBru Show. I'm here with Thomas D. Donkle. That's your full name.
Full name, that's what my mother calls me.
But you like to go by Tom, right?
Yeah, Tom's perfectly fine, thank you.
And he's not trying to be Mr. Slim Shady over here. I know you got some things going on, right? So for everyone at the home, you have.
So I wish there was a great story behind it. But earlier this year, I was working in the yard and developed a detached retina. So I'm working through that right now. So blessed to be in Greeley in northern Colorado. We've got a lot of great surgeons and ophthalmologists and optometrists up here, and just got my cataracts done. So we're on our way to healing and hopefully have great vision when it's all said and done.
Excellent. So part of the show format, so you guys understand everything that's going on here, and we're going to focus on you guys at home, hopefully not on the toilet or in your car. Still pay attention, right? But we're going to taste a bunch of things. We're going to keep it high level. I'm going to start with Tom's story. We're going to explain what this is all about. So he's got an amazing story as a builder, and I just can't wait to dive into every aspect and share a little bit about it. I'm going to bring a very bipartisan approach. I'm going to try and keep things level. We're going to have fun going to like the extremes, the highs, the lows, but we're going to keep it real, right? And then for any of you who have questions, just drop them in the comments. I think we'll have them available. But the format fuses South African culture with American business, and it's less of a dry format. So think like Hot Ones or like any show where they try food. This is the format. And so, as we kick it off, I'm going to start with the first taste test. So we taste things from yuck to yum. So 1 to 10.
Okay.
So this is the first one. It's called Royboss tea. Cheers.
Cheers.
And then you taste it and you give it like a rating. Yeah?
Not bad.
Okay. I forgot to add the cinnamon. I'll put a little bit in mine.
Okay.
Do you want any or are you good?
No, I'll try some cinnamon in there.
Let's try it again as well. So this tea, it's like an antioxidant and it doesn't have caffeine in it. So pretty cool. Let's try it again. Yeah, what do you think? Flavor?
Yeah, kind of medium flavor, nothing over dramatic.
Yeah.
Afraid to ask what's in it.
Okay.
That might change my perspective on it a little bit.
Yeah, an African bush tea, basically.
Okay.
So it's made out of a bush, and it's called Royboss, which is red tea or whatever. And they have like red espressos in South Africa. So you can drink this late at night and you can sleep. And it's good for you, right? So have you ever tried something like this?
I've never tried anything like
Awesome.
this. It's not bad.
One of my goals. So I met, and Tom, 1 to 10, yuck to yum, and you're allowed to be brutal.
I'd say it's right in the middle, probably a 5 or 6.
No fives. Yeah. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
I'll give you a 5 this time.
All right. Kind of middle of the road there, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah, it's like those math teachers, right? Don't give it a 9 or a 10.
Yeah, right.
So anyway, I met Tom at an event, and it was really cool, and I knew him through someone else. And then today I found out he knows a little bit of my wife's family and friends. And so as Greeley folks, I want to know like an introduction to who you are, what you are, your family, and what Greeley means to you and stuff like that.
Right on. Well, I'll kind of start with my journey to Greeley. I was born and raised in Salida, so I'm a third-generation Coloradoan, which is rare to find. Graduated Salida High School, moved to Greeley in '86 to go to college, and found it to be a wonderful place to be, and started my professional career here with the city of Greeley. Doing mapping of the city's water infrastructure. Did leave for a little while, went down to the city of Thornton, got more involved in water rights and water rights administration, which opened the door for me to come back to Greeley, where I married and had a wonderful family here in Greeley. Moved on from Greeley in the mid-2000s after the big drought, and went into land development, which led me into heavy civil for the next probably 25 years, built relationships all over northern Colorado, stayed in Greeley the whole time, and then about 3 years ago, decided to go out on my own and do project management and owner's rep work, and it's just been a wonderful journey. I've met a lot of wonderful people and worked on a lot of great projects throughout northern Colorado.
That's fantastic. And for those of you who don't know, if you're watching from South Africa or overseas, Salida is technically a mountain town.
It's a mountain town. It's about elevation 8,000 feet in the upper Arkansas Valley. It was, while I was growing up there, it was a small railroad mining town, pretty depressed. We had free reign of the town. Nobody much supervised us.
Needed a lot of love, right?
Yeah. But now it's just a wonderful tourist destination with restaurants and art galleries and just some sort of a festival every weekend. If you need to look it up, it's a wonderful place to visit.
So we always encourage our guests who are watching. A lot of you guys have businesses. Some of you are directors in companies. And what Tom is talking about too is like using your imagination and creativity to go into a place and explore it, right? And that's going to be your own taste, your own yuck to yum, right? And so always keep something like that as a placeholder. It sounds like that's part of your story. Is you have to envision the next place you're going to take a look at and make it something. And I had a friend who that's what he did, and this is a crazy story. He went back to South Africa. I'm not going to mention any names, but lived there for 7 years. And when he came back, actually that creative journey, he blew up that little business town. And I'm not going to say exactly and how, but it was through networking. It was through the chamber. It was through a lot of like local government. And if any of you know the government in South Africa, if you've ever been to the DMV, you come back and your paperwork has KFC chicken on it. And it took like 5 hours and you almost got mugged on your way there. So just fun like perspective in the American culture, how different things are. But that friend of mine, when he came back, he had a fresh credit start. He actually, not that you should do this, but his credit started anew. So he did it a little bit the wrong way, right? He burnt all the bridges. And then went there to try and save grace. Didn't know it. After 7 years, came back and he had a new start. So America has that. America, I think a lot of people don't understand how amazing of an opportunity it is to explore and to see that kind of stuff. Now, my next question, and I'm going to get into rapid fire, but tailgating off of that little story, is that how you view new projects in new towns?
Yeah, I mean, so much of what I do is relationship based. So it's for me, it's important to, if I am working in a new community, to get to know the people that I'll be working with, whether it's city staff, government staff, the contractor that I'll be working with, and establishing that rapport to ensure that there's good communication and that we're all on the same page to move the project forward to completion and be profitable while we're doing it.
And I mean, it takes like a ton of brain cells. It takes a ton of time. It's not just like you woke up and now everything's done for you by a manager, right?
No, it's a daily effort. You can't, from day one to the end of the project, you've got to stay in communication with everybody. And there's so many methods of communication right now, but I still find the best way to communicate is just pick up the phone. 100%. And talk to people directly as opposed to text messaging or emails, and just being available. So much of what I do, it's not an 8 to 5, it's a 6 to 9 o'clock at night. You just put the effort forward to make sure it's a successful project.
Oh, I know the story. It's millennials and Gen Zers, if you guys are listening. He had some key words in there too. And so, I work 10-hour days as well. It depends on the week. As an entrepreneur, you really just don't have a choice. And it's better for you. If you wake up early or you do what you need to do. I don't like the hustle culture, but listen to the keyword he had there. He had, like pick up the phone. And so we have a funny story, him and I, because my email, I despise email. I like it. I like it right. To get the message out in the marketing world. So I have like a web and marketing company here downtown Greeley, at a really neat space up the road. And our little team has grown quite a bit. But yeah, email is it gets lost. Text messages get lost. Don't think if you email someone, they know what you're talking about. I picked up the phone to confirm our meeting. And don't be shy. Like, you guys have it in you. Most Americans have it in them. Think about the generations before this one, okay? It doesn't matter if you're on the donkey side or the elephant side. They had to contest and fight for freedoms, and your great-great-grandparents have the stoicism in them. But we forget that as baby Americans. I'm like a 2-year citizen, so big up to the flag, man. So, but I'm gonna move to this next segment here, the rapid fire and the taste test. So the next piece that we're gonna try is not gonna be as wonderfully delightful. So here's a spoon for you, and we'll jump into rapid fire after that. Try to pronounce what that says. I can't show it in the show, but
Marmite.
There we go. You got it.
Right on.
I think most people get it. So just take a nice spoonful, man. I asked him if he had allergies before the show, so we're good. I think this is not gonna kill you. It's
all right. You promised.
Yeah, I have a joke behind it too.
Yeah, pretty gross.
So from a 1 to 10, I'm sorry I did that to you.
That's about a 1. You can taste it. Does it have peanuts in it? What is in that?
Nice.
So if you guys know about meat extract, this is like if you know, this is yeast extract. It's kind of like Vegemite from Australia.
Okay.
I grew up eating this on my sandwiches, man. It was pretty awful. How come
I'll stick with peanut butter sandwiches.
I know my mom would give this to me. Isn't that sad? It's got some protein in it and all that stuff. Ooh. But okay, so yuck to yum, you said 1. What I will add to this too is we were watching a show, my wife and I, and they were trying to come up with a substitute for meat, and the word they used was schmeat. And I was like, you can't substitute meat, unfortunately,
no. Especially in Greeley.
I know, so we get a lot of flack here, but you get those guys who are like, yeah, it's the smell of money, and I love that. It's everyone's different on the perspective. Okay, rapid fire Q&A. So your kids and you have kiddos?
Yeah, I have 2 boys, 2 granddaughters.
So they'll get a hoot from that little taste test.
Yeah, right.
So quick answers: morning or night person?
Morning.
Coffee or no coffee?
Coffee.
Do you like planes, trains, or automobiles? Which one of those?
All the above.
Oh, okay, cool. And then favorite movie?
Yeah, I'm not the best one to answer that
book?
question.
Favorite book?
Even worse.
Okay, podcast or audio or mentor?
I've had a lot of great mentors. It's not just one. But I've got to say my wife.
Nice.
Without my wife, none of this would be possible. And to have the support system at home for my wife, Elizabeth, I just can't begin to say how important that's been for this latter part of my journey. We've only been together 8 years. Found the person I was meant to be with my entire life. So
it's so true.
It's just been an amazing. She's my best friend. We do everything together, and that's what makes it hard to go to work, is that we don't work together. So I think if we could work together, we'd absolutely do that.
Yeah.
So.
I know the saying is like a wife can make or break a man, you know, and pick very well, guys and girls and everyone out there, because you got to gel and you got to somewhat realign, right?
Absolutely.
We would never fully align, my wife and I, from the first day we got married. Like, it was 6 months. We were like, are we doing this thing? Are are we going to change for each other? Right. Or are we going to stay the same and live for ourselves, right? And so when you have kids and family, it's just, you cannot live for yourself.
Absolutely.
And people think that's how it is. It's just not that way. Then you just struggle bus.
Right, exactly. And that's for us. We from the moment we met, we knew there was a chemistry, and within the first month, we were planning a 10-day vacation to go to Hawaii, and we were going to find out real early on if we liked each other enough to spend 10 straight days together.
There we go.
Here we go.
Cheers to that one. I love it. And then I've been working, so I have so many like little projects and big projects that are, just this year we did one where we got a 25% marketing in 4 months growth increase. So, for example, if they estimated it, they were going to do 5 mil for a year. We got them to 2 mil. So 2 mil additional, just through hyper-focused multi-platform advertising, but very fun-hearted, like good marketing. So, but yeah, my wife, my goodness, I would be so sunk. We both work as well. Okay. I don't think we could work together. We'll put each other to sleep, forever sleep. Okay, part of the rapid fire I also want to finish off with. So you're not a major movie or book person, and let me ask you, favorite activity?
Favorite activity? Probably doing home renovations, working around the house with my wife.
No way. That's
we've done 3 houses, and
so you bring the work home a little bit.
Yeah. So we love to do that, and it's a nice break from what we do on a daily basis. So
I wish you all the best in that. We literally, the place we bought, the little house we have, it was a building guy here in Greeley, his old house, but that's why we bought it, because he finished it up, polished it up, and the kids have a little slide downstairs, and it's just pretty decent. So I miss the rental world though, when we used to rent stuff out. But as you know, my brother-in-law does all of that.
Yeah.
So big shout out to you, Seth. So and Stefan and all the people. So I'm going to go to this next piece here. I just want to talk about steps along the way, and then we want to get to obviously this quote-unquote $1 billion project, like all the hype words around it. But I want to bring it all the way back down to earth and bring the bipartisan questioning through with that. But before we get there, we all need to know some of the failures and then some of the successes that has led you now to here. So what are some things that were like, I call them, I've seen it in this book, it's like pebbles or rocks, right? These little pebbles or rocks, but eventually they catapulted you to where you're at now. So, yeah.
That's a good question. I think it's just being open to learning new things and taking on as much as you can take on, but not too much. One of the biggest things I've learned is to delegate when needed and bring in the experts when I don't have the answers. You can't have all the answers in this industry, and to rely on people that can help you get to the solution to any problem, because no construction project goes perfectly smooth.
100%.
So you've just got to be open to everybody's input and make quick decisions and keep the projects moving forward. And it's everything that I've done is all relationship driven. You kind of talked about some advertising, but it's just keeping relationships alive. You never want to burn a relationship over something small. You work through it, and everybody takes their lumps, and you move on to the next project.
It's true. Like, even if you look at the economic environment, the media paints one picture, And then behind the scenes, under the tip of the iceberg, you actually see very much a nice way of doing things. And it's getting to a solution, right? Like, so we'll say the gentleman in charge, the POTUS, the big kahuna, the other ginger like me, you know? You hear all this contention, but underneath that, you see maybe the phone call, you see the, hey, okay, that deal structure may not look fantastic. Let's try this. Let's try that. You know, and I think sometimes they pull the rabbit out of the hat and try and make this certain thing of something when it's not always that. So tell me about, because this is really important for the younger generation and business owners who are afraid to make relationships based on reputation. What is the key to doing that without, you know, because reputation is so important.
I think it's honesty. Being able to call it when you see it. It's not going to be comfortable, but it's also how you do it. You never call out anybody in front of other people. You do it one-on-one. I think that's so important, is to work with each other. We're all human. We all make mistakes. I've made plenty, but I've held myself accountable higher than what anybody else can do that. But it's just remembering we're all human and working together. We all want to do a great job. And
I like that. That's a good one. Special thanks to the Link Library. We're using their space. We have a phenomenal gentleman filming for us named Joshua, and Melissa Beavers, and the two Davids, and there's a guy named Rob. Rob actually came up with this format for our show.
Okay.
And then he started working.
Cheers to Rob.
Yeah, he was a comedy format producer for the show. We just need to drop the behind the scenes of how that happened. Him and another lady came in. I said, I need something unique. I just don't want to have a dry business show, right? Because there's so many of those, and this is what they came up with. So we took the fusion of hot ones and all that stuff. And also, none of this is sponsored here. All of the podcasts get produced from clients who are doing really well, and usually we bring them on, or we have a sponsor segment, and they're the ones funding this episode for the editing and the hours. And goodness, there's so much that goes into it. So don't forget to subscribe and connect and drop a comment, whatever that's going to be for you. Throw the question in there. We'll see about it. And hey, if you want to be on the show, now you know it's kind of like $1,000 commitment usually, and but we don't have the guests pay that. Just to keep that in mind, it's usually the business or it's a sponsor segment, because we don't endorse anyone on the show. It's very much here to have that conversation. So keep that in mind. So let's go to this next taste test. It is this one. We used to call these Mari biscuits. They're like, when your mom had a dime to save, she would get you a Mari biscuit as a snack. And it's really just like, once you taste it, you'll see it's kind of, you don't have to have the whole thing. Yeah, just break it in half. That's the other piece. It's very nimble. Sorry for the table. You can grab another one too.
No.
Okay, cool. 10-second rule. I dip it in the Royboss, and usually we'll have rusks on the show, but rusks are like shortbread. It's a little stale.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna give that one a 2.
Yeah, I'd keep my dime.
Yeah, come on.
I wouldn't buy one of those.
Talking about dimes, that like they go like, if you have $1, no, that's really bad. Ugh. I'm gonna jump to another taste test so that we can get that taste out of our mouth. Talking about $1, it goes 18-1 in South Africa. So if you're ever traveling there, and the crime is also pretty low on tourists, 0.5% of people actually go to forever sleep in South Africa from tourism, and it's not even from crime. It's from like a heart attack or natural causes. So this is yerba mate, next taste test, because we need to get that taste out of our mouth. It is like the organic Red Bull. It is not made in South Africa, but if for my daily routine, every other day, I'll pop one of these if it's a very busy day. Doesn't have all the junk in it. You can get it at natural grocers. So.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of sugar in it. There's versions of this without sugar. Okay. So one of the business optimizations I'll do is I'll fast. I'll fast for like a few days, and I'll only eat lunches and dinners. And so I'll grab a 0%, drink a black coffee, keeps that entrepreneurial day going. So those of you who work for a company, when all the risk is falling on your back and you have to show up to provide for the family and provide, and like you said earlier, I think we beat ourselves up way more, right? Than,
absolutely.
Like if something comes out, we're just beating ourselves up. Okay, so tell me about a daily routine and like things that help you stay ahead of the curve with things. For you, is it just pushing through? Do you ever get intimidated by big numbers? Like, I want to know that about Tom. You know, like that's one of my questions.
No, I think the average day started to get up, do a little workout routine, kind of get the juices flowing, get that going. I'm officing out of the house right now, which is not my best place to be. It's hard to stay focused, but really it's sit down, review the calendar. What do we have going today? Go through emails, check that, text messages, then start making phone calls, making sure I've got people where they need to be. I'll typically be managing 4 to 5 projects at any given time.
No way.
Throughout Greeley and northern Colorado. And then decide what meetings I've got, and then adjust to do any site visits that I need throughout the day. And
that's amazing.
Make sure you're stopping to keep up with your phone calls and text messages. I do a lot of, when I'm driving, that's when I make a lot of phone calls and just keep in touch with everybody. And and then just set time aside to do your billing and keeping track of your costs each day. And anything that's popped up that really needs to be addressed immediately, making sure you kind of do that. And then at the end of the day, kind of look at what the next day and the rest of the week have in store, make some phone calls if needed. And
is that on Sunday night or Monday morning? Or
I think try to not do it
on Sunday.
But there's always time. A previous job, I used to do all my billing on Sunday. It was quiet. You could find a space to go out and take care of that. But I've gotten better about taking time away, putting the phone up, taking the email out of the equation, and just enjoying life, but really making that Monday through Friday count every hour that you're awake and available to do work.
And I think what was amazing, you said 4 projects, and I was like, whoa, like I'm just imagining how many people are under each of those projects. Do you have like numbers on how many people? Would you say on one given moment you're managing these people, and then you're managing how many other people?
So it's really critical for me as a project manager, owner's rep. The owner's rep, I have a GC that I'm dealing directly with. So it's really just talking to that GC. He takes care of all his subs underneath him. Okay. When I'm doing subdivision work, I'll usually have one contractor that I'm dealing with. They'll have multiple project managers or site superintendents that I deal with. But at any given time, on the small vertical stuff that I do, there's probably 10 to 20 people working. On the larger subdivision, you'll have somewhere 40 to 50 people working on a subdivision, depending on if you're laying pipe, doing earthwork, whatever the tasks at that time are, to make sure. And it's always critical to be looking forward. To make sure everybody's materials are on site. That's become a huge issue in the last 5 years. Making sure we're always, taking the task at hand seriously, but looking forward to what's coming next.
Exactly. And we don't try and timestamp stuff on the show, but for those of you who do know, we have these like blackout periods. Thankfully, not like in South Africa where the lights actually do go off every other day and they have like a scheduled blackout. So keep that in mind. This is the season we're in right now. And then, big leaders up in the top are trying to make decisions on that. Same with countries. So there's a little bit of a, let's say, negotiation going on all around when it comes to materials. Give people an idea too, because you're like a treasurer at that point too, where it's like, hey, look, you probably have to deal with, like a certain amount of a budget, and I think there's this misconception that when you see this number, they think, oh, that's what everyone's keeping. It's not always true. Right? And so I can work with a lot of accounts, but am I profitable at the end of the day? We just this year figured out how to get to 26% profitability, but the year before when we were growing the team and stuff, we were at 5%. And I was at least proud of that. I was making something, and like I was just plugging holes, So talk a little bit about that and the stress that comes with that, but also the positive that comes out of that. This is why you're responsible for that kind of stuff. Yeah, talk a little bit. Talk numbers too. I think people need to understand that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So as a project manager owner rep, my fee, I'll usually try to break it down into the different categories, whether I'm doing entitlement, pre-construction, bidding, actual project management, closeout, and determine based on my hourly rate how many hours I think will be dedicated to that. I'm continuing to dial that in. It usually ends up being somewhere between 3 and on the high side 9% of the total project cost. But that's one of the assets that I have, is that I can take a project from the inception, take it through the city process, get it out to bid, whether it's a horizontal or vertical project, get the team put together, and then bring it through construction. There doesn't necessarily have to be a handoff anywhere in between. But that just adds to the burden a little bit and the responsibility to make sure everything's moving efficiently as possible. And then just dealing with the most important thing in what I do on the cost side of things is working with the design engineers, architects, to make sure we have the best possible plans and bidding documents. I recently had, it's about a $1.8 million project. We had it slated for 110 days of construction. Had our budget. We came in at under 90 days of construction and ended up with a deductive change order of about $60,000. So, and had a high quality project. So that's one of the rare jobs where you get all three. You get your time, your cost, and your value of the project, the high quality construction. So we got all three in that
That's fantastic.
particular project.
And for newbies like us and people out there who don't know, I'm assuming, and I'm only figuring this out right now. Most times, I would imagine the companies who are going through this, and I want to ask you a follow up to that, is they're expected to lose in the beginning and then recoup as time goes on, right? So you see numbers, but I mean, this is future costing, your future forecasting, your design planning, your design building for that future outcome, and so yeah. Like those numbers, is that really like part of the game and understanding that for people and for the employees and all that stuff?
You know, for me, it's a little more challenging because I'm a sole proprietor. I'm my only employee. So my top end is somewhat limited. It's based on my capacity to do my job and do it very well.
Yeah.
But I can become more efficient.
That's great.
In my time. To increase my profitability over what I bid the job at.
Yeah.
So that's a continual thing to increase my efficiency. Computers are not my forte, so I've got to get that dialed in a little more. My efficiency going through emails and not spending so much of my time each day responding to every single email.
Yeah.
Starting to get more into the AI on stuff.
Do you use Google?
I stopped using Google as much.
What are you using now?
Right now I'm using Chatbot and ChatGPT
Perfect.
the most.
That's good. I think they have an integration where you could plug it into your email. If you go into Google, what you could do is there's a tab there, and you click Gemini. Just a quick little helpful tip, and you say please summarize the most important emails today and give me a highlight. And I've been doing that, and it's been helpful because it will like highlight. It'll say this email, especially for the younger generation and the older generation. It's not a major deal if you have a really good assistant. But what I'm learning too is the buck doesn't stop with just you. It's like the buck is stopping with X, Y, and Z other companies in that network. It's funny how like at first you're like, oh yeah, like he's the one guy and he is controlling all those companies. Right, so you kind of shifted my perspective on that one. Let's go into the next taste test, and then we're going to jump into the Cascadia project and all the exciting hoo-ha craziness behind that. Manny the mannequin, our little guest over here, has 2 gifts for you. We'll do this as a lighten the load after the burden questions.
Okay.
And we'll do this at the end, and it'll be fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so next taste test is one of the favorite ones of the show. It goes down pretty well. This is the chili lime version. Whatever you do, don't grab the the fresh pack, the thing that keeps the product fresh, and eat that, please. I don't need any liability on my insurance, okay? We have to take insurance pretty seriously. I have a lot of insurance for my business. I imagine with this you have a lot of insurance as well,
Yes.
right? Because
my own insurance.
oh my goodness, yeah. Yuck to yum.
Yeah, that's good.
Good.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'd say 7.
Did you do any sports in school?
Yeah, I did grow up playing sports.
You're good. What did you do?
Played a lot of baseball, basketball, football. Football ended up blowing my knee out my senior year, and so I kind of trashed everything. And through my 20s, did a lot of cycling, both mountain and road biking. And
I was gonna guess that. Do you know how I was gonna guess that?
what is that?
This is called Billong. It's South African beef jerky made with USDA beef. They carry it at natural grocers. It's called Kalahari. Please sponsor us. That'd be so cool. But it's fresh. They don't cook biltong. They just dehydrate it. But cyclists have. There's a beef jerky store up in Estes Park. Have you ever been to? You've been to Estes,
Yeah.
So if you guys go in there, there's a little beef jerky store, and then one of our clients, Big Willie's Meats. He's in there, but his messaging is very iffy. So if kids are watching, I'm sorry, but like you drive into Greeley and it says "Eat my nuts,"
I love it.
which is just part of the brand. And he's a local guy. His packer is local USDA beef. Same thing here, but they carry biltong. Cyclists use it because it has a lot of creatine, and it's extremely quick at your recovery. So right after your race, they'll pop a bag of biltong.
Yep.
So athlete kind of food, right? So those football players, those rugby players, check this out. Talking about athletes and all that. Let's get into Cascadia. What the Eagles have signed, what, a 40-year or 30-year lease?
40-year lease with the city of Greeley.
Just whoever, for the people who don't know, give them like the high-level highlights of what's all coming.
So the Catalyst project, or the West Greeley Entertainment District, is a project in West Greeley, out kind of on the western fringe on Highway 34. It's a 100-acre site that the city of Greeley's purchased. It's going to be home for the Colorado Eagles in a new 8,600-seat arena. There'll also be a 350-room hotel and about 100,000 square feet indoor water park with 12 slides. There'll be an outdoor plaza where people will be able to gather and be entertained, go to restaurants, shopping. So it's a really big, bold step for the city of Greeley and its leaders to move this forward. They've also had to get very creative on the financing of this, and I think that's where it's drawn a little bit of the heat from the detractors. But it's a very bold project. It'll change the face of northern Colorado and Greeley for this generation and all generations to come. It's kind of been tabbed as the $1.1 billion project. It's really about $850 million between the three. Greeley created mechanisms that would fund that, but not raise taxes, contrary to what some folks have said about it.
That's been like the pain point, and I mean, like, goodness gracious! When I first came to the States too, I would look at the ballots and the voting, right? Like when my first time voting, I got so excited. It wasn't an election year, but I got to vote on like locals, and this is a monumental, crazy moment. You're watching me drop in my election ballot, dated, or my ballot, right, is what they call it. One of those years, I was looking at one of the gentleman's campaigns, and I can't really say who, but I try not to go in any of those directions because of my history, and because of my clients too. But everything on there was like about tax, and I was like, this is so interesting, right? And it was just like the wording is all backwards or different or upside down, and so I think people expect to be a little bit tricked. Fair enough, and I think if you build it and they will come, like, people will contest that too, right? So there's always going to be skeptics. Now, I want to ask you this, which is actually one thing that I thought was interesting on the project too, and I'll get into the tax stuff. The restaurant, I heard from one friend of yours, it'll be inside and outside. So
Yes.
you can watch this game, and then you can go out to the front of it, and if there's no game, just hang out. And then the other piece that my wife thought was really interesting is there will be an equestrian like horse area,
Yes.
which people don't know about. And then I found out that the flies, you can't have your own horse on your property there, because they're going to build housing development as well, because they need one place to centralize all of that stuff.
Exactly, yes.
So you could bring your horse over, you could drive a golf cart. It's a golf cart community, and so there's this massive appeal. If you think about how close it is to Windsor, it brings in, and like I say, guys, I'm not endorsing, I'm not advocating. I'm sharing from someone who knows barely anything about construction, about the things I see. So I thought that was appealing. I personally won't have the funds probably to enter into, and I want you to bring this up to guests too, because if you guys didn't know this, there's this thing that you can do with property where you can purchase or put I don't know if you guys are going to do this, but you can put down a deposit on your piece, but you have to commit to buying it when the time comes. I think it's called I don't know what kind of loan it is, but you basically deposit front run, and then when it's time, you're going to buy that house at whatever value it is.
Yeah, and I haven't been that much involved on that back
side?
end,
Okay.
but on the front end, yeah, you hit on some very cool highlights. So I mentioned the plaza. That's where these restaurants and retail will be. They'll be at the kind of north or southern end of the cascading ponds. So there's going to be a series of ponds that will kind of cascade through the development from the city property down through the development, which will be called Cascadia.
Hence the name. And I spoke to another gentleman, friend of mine, who was talking about the Royboss.
Yeah,
And
so they've
I think
got
you know
some
who
really,
he is, but I won't say it. Like, he's got a property up there too, a little bit further back towards. There's like a police station. I think he's got it on the one other side.
okay.
Very nice guy.
Yeah.
But he's still waiting on things. He's got so much to wait on.
Yeah, and that's part of the challenge. Is a lot of this ground was annexed into Greeley decades ago.
No way.
And now it's just, finally coming to the point of having interest in developers. Everything south of the highways in the process of development. And that's why they called it the catalyst, is it's going to be the center of all this additional development that brings in more housing, more retail, commercial. Historically, Greeley has not done a good job of retaining sales tax. This creates the opportunity for sales tax to come into Greeley from outside, not only northern Colorado, but from a 400 or 500 mile radius of people coming to Eagles games, concerts, the hotel water park. It's really going to just change the dynamic of Greeley.
Yeah.
The Cascadia development that you mentioned will be an equestrian based, and it'll have an equestrian facility where people will be able to have their own horses or come in and rent a horse.
Yeah.
The pathways through the development, as I understand, are going to be about 50 feet wide.
Nice.
You'll have your pedestrian riding trail.
Yeah.
You'll have your golf cart trail, and then you'll have your equestrian trail.
So
you'll be able to ride golf carts, horses
nuts.
everywhere you want to go out there.
It's absolutely nuts. I mean, you guys are making a bold move. So here's one of my other things. So he's not on the side of the loan side, and for those of you who would purchase there, you're gonna be purchasing knowing that you're gonna have to pay that metro tax, right?
Yes.
So that's a source of tax that is for you specifically. It wouldn't affect Greeleys that are, let's say, I mean, where West Side is now is going to be central or like East Greeley almost. Because you think about the gap, right? It's a 10, 15-minute gap.
So it's actually far less than that. I
Is
just
it
did a little
8 minutes?
So I did a little experiment here a couple of weeks ago, which will be on a different
Topic. Or what?
it's a different podcast with a real estate friend of mine.
Good.
So we were able to be downtown.
You guys need to connect me as well.
Yes, absolutely. So she went West 10th Street. I took 8th Avenue and came up 34.
Yeah.
She got from downtown Greeley at 5 o'clock in the evening to Cascadia in 18 minutes.
That's amazing.
It took me 24 minutes to go the 34 bypass way.
That's
so
great.
it's not as far as you think.
No.
But the great thing is the planning that this leadership has done for the city of Greeley. We're also in the process of developing mobility hubs, which will allow people to move from downtown Greeley, central Greeley,
Excellent.
West Greeley, throughout our community more efficiently.
Will that be the bus system as well?
That's the Greeley bus system.
So it's already in place, yeah.
It's already in place,
good.
but it's evolving into something far bigger
Yeah.
and far better than what we've had historically.
Okay, so, and then the next piece is explain to us how the tax does not come into play, and so that these people can, like, I want to understand that too.
Yeah. Absolutely. So you hit on the Metro District. Aside from the Metro District, one of the big mechanisms out there is called the GID. It's a General Improvement District. What that's going to do, that's going to do the heavy lifting of all the horizontal infrastructure for the water, sewer, storm, and roads for the project. What it's also going to bring is a new interchange at 17 and 34 that will be paid for in cooperation with Weld County and other communities, but as well as the GID. So Greeley is essentially, Northern Colorado is essentially getting a new intersection paid for by this development. It'll be a mill levy on the property within the GID that will repay this over time. You also hit on what are the other sources of funds to do the project. It's what's called a COP.
Got it.
Certificate of Participation. Greeley used them in this case to help do the horizontal and vertical design. Typically, the city can do that out of their own funds, and then it gets, then they do the COP for the project. But this one was so big that they needed to use existing facilities to help fund the roughly $110, $115 million to do the design. The thing that hasn't been clear to people and that they've really kind of misrepresented is how that COP gets replaced. It gets repaid in probably next June, maybe a little bit later, with money from a 501c3, which is the conduit borrower for the city of Greeley. They'll go out to the bonding market and sell bonds, basically called revenue bonds. So they'll be paid for by revenues generated from the project.
Totally understood.
And that's where the COPs get repaid, and so there's no debt on those city properties anymore.
To explain something interesting to you guys on that, for someone who, layman's terms, so think about this too. You have what is happening right now is let's just take this disgusting cookie or thing that was in there. This is current rate right now, okay? And what we're seeing is into next year, and whenever you're watching this, maybe the project's already done, or maybe, who knows where we are in the future. But this is the rate right now, and this is not the rate, right? But by next year, we'll have a new chair on the house, right?
Right.
And right now, the trajectory is down. So
correct. We're hoping rates go down.
They keep focusing. Really. This is kind of the trajectory. They'll keep going, and the estimate, they're very good at this. They have estimates if you guys go look online. So now what you will imagine is by the time next year comes around, there'll be a new one in the chair. That will be someone that gets chosen by the top head honcho, and he may drop it as well. Now, this is good for the general economy because what happens is you can lend more, the consumer is treated better, the consumer can do more and afford housing and things like that. Rentals have been coming down, but think about this. So their funds have gotten cheaper. The project has gotten cheaper because now they're using that equity to bring it all together.
100%.
So that is hard for any normal person to understand, but you guys are smarter than you think you are. Imagine it like that, right? And this is how you need to think in business as well, is you need to think from this higher level on debt capital. It's the way money is being used, right?
Yep.
It's a very high level thing. It's probably taken me 10 years to just even understand a portfolio. But it's good stuff, guys. You need to go learn that. And enjoy learning that. Now, one of the things that I think was difficult to watch as well is, I love this because it's two questions. One is why Greeley? The second one is why people were really upset that, it wasn't voted by people. Can we talk about that little piece and just kind of, what do you think will put people at ease? And then I have a really good follow-up question. So we'll spend a little bit of time on that and more time on the next.
Well, and from your first question, why Greeley? Why not Greeley? We're a great community. We've got a lot of great people here. We've got the land, we've got the water, and we're poised to do this. We've created the infrastructure internally at the city to expedite these type of projects to move through.
Ag support, like agriculture support, is that kind of or no?
So
oil and gas?
There's so interestingly enough, the site's somewhat planned around a solar array for Bruder Valley. There's also an oil and gas pad site out there that has really freed up this ground. That's one thing with directional drilling.
Oh, wow.
It's really freed up a lot of surface area in all of northern Colorado.
Yeah.
But for me, with the city, hindsight 2020,
Yes.
could they have done things differently? I firmly believe in representative democracy. I don't have any fallacy to think that we're a democracy. We don't gather here at Lincoln Park to try to make every decision. It would bog us down. I feel like they were very thorough. It's not a build it and they will come. They went through backwards and forwards, multiple studies looking at costs and revenue to make sure everything aligned to mitigate the risk. And that's all we can do as business owners.
Yeah, and I
is
heard
evaluate things and mitigate the risk the best that we can.
there was like 2,000 jobs that are created. I think 1,000 permanent, or something like that.
Yeah,
Like,
I can get you those numbers.
that's
We'll
cool.
have some
We'll
great
show 'em up
slides in here.
I'll do pictures on the back
yeah.
whatever I'm allowed to share. Okay, and the next one is this is important too for people. Every human has this high level of fear. Okay, and I'll give you the fun gift. So what is the escape mechanisms? What is the fallbacks? Like, let's go worst case scenarios, and then medium case, and then best case. Give me that.
So worst case scenario is what could happen this afternoon, which is another referendum petition to kill the project. That would saddle Greeley with substantial debt with no ability to repay it. That will have a cascading effect through the Civic Center project, merge. If we were to get started, worst case is the revenue projections are low. Then you go back, what we do with any debt, you'd go back and refinance it, work with the bondholders. They're not going to walk,
help them out. Yeah,
help, and they'll help you out to make sure it gets repaid. Greeley has a moral obligation. Worst case is they could just say, we're out.
Exactly.
And then it would affect their bonding rating, but it wouldn't bankrupt the city.
As people too, you can negotiate with your creditors.
Oh, absolutely.
There's so many games that can be played. I told you about the story where you go to another country, and I mean, it's not ideal if you have kids. Okay, I want to move on to, for example, there was that, I think it was Pueblo or another Riverside project, and that one actually panned out pretty well, even though they were a little bit overspend, but it still attracted people. And it's still, I mean, if you've been down to Pueblo, it's got a cool little lake area, like a river area.
Yeah,
it's not the Pueblo you think it is. I went down there during the times we had to wear masks and stuff, and I was pleasantly surprised. The library was nice. Everything was nice. The whole environment was pretty cool. So look out for that, guys. Now, here's my fun gift. This was someone who was speaking on a stage. I don't know her super duper well, but here's her book. It's Making Construction Fun Again, so that you can sleep at night. Okay. If you read it, you got to text me on what you think.
Okay.
I left some of the notes and little extras in there, but that's for you.
Well, thank you, Dan.
Pleasure.
You.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see what you think. Yeah. And then the last one is this one over here from Manny the Mannequin. So you're going to open this on the show right now.
Okay, right on.
I'm just going to say it's a beverage. I'm not going to say what exactly beverage because I'm not allowed to. What is cool is it rhymes with Pinot. Oh, it's like Pinot, and it ends with Taj. They only make that kind of grape in South Africa.
Oh, I'm excited.
So I'm excited for you to try it with your wife, hopefully,
Absolutely.
or just put it on a shelf and let it stay there. Right? It's not that fancy.
No, thank you.
Yeah. Cheers. And one last ask as you walk away from the show, and as we ask more questions later with other people, is what can the community do in support of the craziness that you're going to have to go through, and help them understand like who you are and who you're not, and what they're painting you as and what they're painting you not as. Okay.
I think the biggest thing is to be involved in your community as much as you can. It's hard to be involved in everything. So pick the things that are really important to you that you want to see in your community, and really get involved in that. I think the biggest thing that we're seeing right now is if it doesn't go one person's way or the other way, let's burn this thing down. But it's a give and take. We've all got to work together. Yeah. We all love our community. We just have different visions and ways we think we can grow and and change this city. I had a little saying, if you hate me, you don't know me. You probably can't tell. I'm 6'5", 250, so I can be a very intimidating person. But I'm the first one that's cries at a movie.
Yeah,
or I even cry at commercials.
I saw it on your face the other day. I was like, man, it's gonna be okay. Like you're you know. I mean, even when I looked at your beard, I'm like, oh man, you got it. Like don't stress.
But the thing, just be kind. We don't have to call each other names.
We're allowed to disagree, but let's not burn Rome down.
Just be kind to one another.
Exactly.
That's the bottom line.
Yeah, we're all working hard to a lot of different things, and so you're allowed to disagree, but it's really, let's be civil and like let's at least listen to the other side's perspective, right?
Exactly.
Like I think that's the problem, is we need to be able to listen to the perspectives and more find that middle ground, that unity, that not the blame game, right? Because that's gonna keep you locked down if we just blame everyone. Okay, my ask for the show, guys, is go check out the Maximize AI workshop. You'll see it over here. It is a $46 workshop, but also that's for like anyone who just wants to get their feet wet. We also have service-based stuff. This podcast, we ask for subscribing and sponsor people who want to jump on board. Come check that out. We use a new technology where we model basically business models, and it's through a platform we built called WebGate AI. It's a lot like Alex Hormozi's $100 million models. For example, if you want to do, like we did a TikTok strategy for the beef jerky company, and then we do Facebook and Instagram. Get influencers, do samples, market to more than 10, 20,000 people. All you pay for is the samples. And that's a money model that we stand by and try. So we can do that now for any kind of industry, and then we try and expand that with their website and other things like that. Definitely not a sales pitch, more of like an introduction. Check out the other episodes. There's some really hot stuff, like difficult things, funny taste tests. My last Afrikaans thing you have to translate from American, and then we're done, is I'm going to say it in Afrikaans, you have to say it in English. Okay?
All right.
Okay, it's an American translation to Afrikaans. Hambe gatle bafwetu.
I'm supposed to translate that?
Yeah, that's an African one. It's a Swati. It means something.
I have no idea. But hey, thanks for your time. Have a great day.
Exactly. So not bad. Hambe gatle means go well.
Okay.
And then Sale Gatle means stay well. So in African languages, if you use the hambe, it means go and stay. Kind of like in Spanish where they have female and male. Or now you're seeing like they use an X on some things. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. I'll see you later. Cheers.
Thank you.
For the money, I ain't here for the fame. Though it might be nice to own a jet plane, I'ma do it all for you. Come along.